10:20 on the nose. Welcome back to this Thursday morning. The 24th day of April continues on Roku TV, RiverBender.com. John Becker, the John set, back in the studio. You know, John, last week we were talking about Challenge Unlimited and some of the really great work you were doing with Food Is Love, Theodora Farms, and now to continue this, what a great partnership. And John Michael, I know this is an incredible opportunity for what you guys are doing here in the city of Alton and throughout the region and utilizing these major partnerships.
Absolutely. No, the opening of the social center at Challenge Unlimited brings together, if you will, as you indicated, Theodora Farms, which is really central to our mission of reducing food insecurity and improving education and access. You add the great work of what we want to do with Food is Medicine. Jason, who's been a long-time player here with LeMay's Catering. Mm-hmm. So we've really been able to bring a Fresh Harvest 365. So now you have this amazing place where what we call Dignity Through Food, the CSA box programs, and John's going to talk about some of those, meets dignity through work, right, where individuals now, where the place they come every day is a place that's adding value to their community. They get pride in being a part of a solution for other people who are struggling. And that's what we think the definition of community is really about.
Well, and before we dive into the challenge side of things, I wanted to talk about the last year for you all, because it seems like, you know, from all these new events and community block parties, or the Block Party for Goods that you all were doing, and on top of that, it just seemed like being out and about and really meeting, you know, businesses, organizations, and people where they're at. It's been a really busy year for you all.
I think that we were just, before we started the show, we were just talking about that. So, you know, coming in, and we operate off two things. First is organize, which means get out, meet the people that are that are great to collaborate with, who share the same heart for how do we better serve individuals who may need a little extra help. And yes, if you think about from just a year ago, where I think tomorrow will be Block Party 7 or something like that here. We're doing it we do it in Swansea. We've been doing it for a year. So we're about to add a third destination, we believe, that we'll announce shortly in the region.
Wow.
So 3 cities that will be getting Block Party once a month. We have our first Food Is Love food truck festival that is going to happen at the Riverfront Theater on the 27th of September.
Oh, wow.
So that'll bring some bands that we'll announce here that are pretty prominent. And once a year, that's an event to shine like this is what community looks like coming together. We can educate about opportunity. But in that meantime, you're right. We've collected a lot of partners, and it's not just here. It's also, we spent the day yesterday with Jackie Joyner Kersey and the Lansdowne team. So we want to connect the work that's happening in East St. Louis so that together we can all be more efficient and better serving people.
Well, and for the folks, too, that maybe are still learning about how the block parties work, or, you know, some of the different operations, you know, I think it's so important to note that, you know, when you put these block parties on, you make it a point where you guys know, hey, you can be, you know, living life in, you know, the Texas Plains or whatever and having the time of your life, but all of a sudden something could happen and there goes your job, there goes, you know, your income. You're all of a sudden, now it's time to manage money. Do we even have enough for groceries this week until we get started again? And you guys really make it a point to be out there for everybody.
And I appreciate you bringing that up. I mean, that's why we call it Block Party for Good. It's just there to be a hope and a help, and just reach people where they're at. There's no judgment. It's only love and manifest, and free hot food, some music, free groceries. I mean, there's no SNAP, EBT. The only question we ask at the free grocery trailer to our partners at Food Is Love is, how many people live in your home? That's it. So this creates a very inclusive kind of space. And I think people need to know that there are those type of capabilities. OSF is there with us.
They're a great partner, too.
They're unbelievable. OSF is phenomenal. Between the St. Louis Food Bank, OSF, and then we got more capability coming soon with, you know, mobile haircuts and all these things that just show we can bring capacity. And in that moment, while their life is hard, at least in that time, they know people care about them. We've made it easy because it's on a bus route. So everywhere we do these, we make them easy to access.
Gotcha. And see, this is what I think is so unique about this too, is because the more I talk to people about it, it just gives you more excitement for the community, because we all have bad parts in our lives and things happen, and you never need to question or know why, because it's not our business. But to be able just to support like a good neighbor would do is exactly what you all are doing each and every time you put these events on. And that's why I think this partnership is such a unique one, because you've already made it known in the year and a couple of months, if we're even that far in, what your mission is. And, you know, at Challenge Unlimited, we've had decades of understanding and learning about what the mission is and how you guys keep constantly evolving and adapting to meet the needs of the community, the region, and just the time period we're in.
Right. You know, the one thing when I talk with John or we talk with our partners, the thing to consider is food insecurity or hunger is a huge problem, right?
Major.
It's in every part of folks' lives across the country. So I think a lot about, and one thing I like about John Michel and the work that he's doing in forming these partnerships, there's been a lot of attempts for, I don't know, 75, 80 years longer to address food insecurity nationwide. Here's a partnership on a local basis that is doing it right.
Yep.
So addressing food insecurity by bringing players together and looking at a partnership in a different light, the dignity of pay, like bringing folks in at Challenge right now, that because the shelter workshops are being phased out, I've got a lot of folks that are looking for dignity through work. They're going to be put to work and they're going to be able to contribute back to their community. And this outcome of addressing food insecurity, which, you know, by the way, everybody knows is not getting better.
No.
It's getting worse.
Right.
And the mindset that the Social Center and Food Is Love and Social Kitchen have is very similar to Challenge Unlimited. I mean, there is no judgment for people coming for services, because the reality is any of us three, anybody in our lives could be in the same circumstances in a very short period of time.
Well, and two, on the flip side of that, when you have those programs that maybe were already kind of there, you know, the EBTs or the SNAPs or, you know, some of the giveaways for food, it's not good food. And I mean, I hate to say that, because all food is technically good food, but when it's, you know, it's just not meant really to really have that healthy lifestyle, or at least feel like, you know what, it's normal. You know, this is a normal meal. And that's what you guys do so well too with all of this, is that it's humanizing what's going on here. It's not making us feel even worse about the situation we're in.
Right. I think that's huge. I mean, you know, we all know the jokes about government cheese.
Right.
Boxes of carbohydrates. You know, what's that say to somebody in need? You know?
Right.
I talk to my grandkids about this all the time, and I tell them when they see homeless folks or, you know, getting ready to go see them in Germany and there's homeless people everywhere, they ask me about it. I'm like, look, nobody grows up wanting to be poor or homeless or an addict or whatever. They want the same things we want, and we shouldn't dehumanize or devalue people because of that. And unfortunately, that happens. Yeah. So what says that to people when you get the box of government cheese and carbohydrates? You're not worth fresh, organic, nutritious food. And that's what's huge about this program.
Well, and that's why I really love it, because it really is a community-focused event this way, and a community-focused organization, partnership, and program, because you aren't treating people like numbers. I mean, you're treating them like people, and that's really what the biggest thing it needs to be for so many right now that are having a stressful time.
That's right.
Well, and now, so take me through how this partnership really is going to work, because I know we talked a little bit about this last week, but now just to kind of hear it again for the audience, how does this challenge and Food Is Love and Social Kitchen kind of come in together here?
So I'll just describe what's going to be happening at this campus, right? That's just right down the road, and just happens to be conveniently located to our farm. So the priorities are, again, dignity through food, dignity through work, and you hit a very important point. It's one thing to meet a need. Meeting it with dignity is a game changer.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be seen. They just want to be acknowledged.
Right.
And there's shame issues associated with it. It's just a natural byproduct of being in a hard place. We're a fairly judgmental society, if we're honest about it, right? And so we make these judgments, and so it makes it hard when people are struggling because they already feel like either they're not seen. So what the whole purpose of this campus is to say, in this inclusive place, we're bringing diverse partners together for the purpose of not just meeting a need. And that need is we need to get them food. We have a commercial kitchen that'll be operated by LeMay's that will actually be able to produce medically curated meals. So like we can curate the amount of sodium. So this is positioning us for things that we're also doing with hospitals I'll get to. So now we can prepare meals in that fashion. You can warm them up. We have produce being moved from Theodore Farms, which is going to be boxed then with recipe cards and other elements for people to get these CSA boxes.
Wow, yeah.
And they can subscribe to those. And we have a program through the Blessing Box program, right? That buy one, which is a 25-pound subscription box. You buy one, we donate one to the Crisis Food Center, another partner right here in town. So they benefit from it. At the same time, we're teaching people just by virtue through what they're receiving to eat healthier. And we've got to make it elegant, right? So when we mix like some things that have been designed for already prepared, you can take vegetables. We're making it easier to eat healthier because it's really hard. When you're on Snappy BT, you oftentimes only have access to things that tend to be high calorie, high sugar, and other things that are detrimental, right? So this, and then we're adding hydroponic farming. So not only do we have a regular farm that we're used to thinking about regular farming that has also apprenticeship programs, training programs, education programs around nutrition, the ability to prepare food in any form. We have individuals now that can package those boxes with their note lovingly packed by insert name.
Right.
That's going to make it to a food insecure family. And now we've added hydroponic gardening, which is 40-foot containers that are smart farms that can grow 365 days a year, up to 400 different types of produce. And one of those 40-foot containers is equivalent to 3 to 5 acres.
Oh, wow.
And you can manage it with a smartphone, and it's tied into an apprenticeship program. And the goal is get young people excited about farming.
Yeah.
But what a hydroponic container represents is a garden in every broken parking lot, every place where you have a long logistic line for healthy food. No more. You remove those barriers one by one. So this represents an amalgamation of what it looks like for diverse community partners to come together for one reason. How do we better care for the members in our community who may be struggling? And then how do we make them live healthier lives?
This is it. I mean, this is a win-win and a no-brainer for anybody. And that's why I think it's so important we talk about this, because so many times I can see this being one where people can go, man, I wish there was something out here. Well, here it is. I mean, you have two major players in the region that are coming together to put on not one or two different things every couple of months. You're doing it all day long. And it's so important to kind of hit that point across. And for the challenge side of things, John, I just wanted to kind of circle back to this. What is Challenge looking to do with, the partnership here initially and then going forward? Is there any ideas to do more?
Yeah. I mean, John and Susan Wild and the staff, Stephanie, we talk about this quite a bit. So when you're, at the beginning of this partnership, you're looking at getting everything up and running, what's in front of you. But then we sit down, we start having really brainstorming, our idea generation. The thing you have to remember, excuse me, putting people to work is a priority, but also providing opportunities for our folks to give back. I mean, we have a number of people at our Alton Skills Center who are retired.
Right.
But they go out in the community, they volunteer at the Hope Center, they volunteer at SSP, they volunteer at other agencies. We're bringing something into the facility that they can volunteer and give back. And there are definitely some folks, like everybody, that have different needs that they are better supported on site. So we're providing opportunities for training. We have a lot of people that come to us that we have to go out and find a place to do an assessment. We can do that on site. And it's skills in the catering restaurant industry, but skills that we have never even considered through the hydroponic. We're going to go out to Theodora Farm. We're going to pack food at Theodora Farm. That's not a job that we normally have access to.
Right. Well, and see, and I think it just adds a whole nother dynamic to this mold of your guys's, and it's such an important one too to really kind of drive home. And before I let you go, because I know that we have one more guest that's going to join us from Joe's Market Basket, and we'll touch on that in just a couple of minutes. But I wanted to really drive out, John, Michel, really just and sorry, I keep calling you Michael. I don't know why my name was. It was a typo on my end, and I'm like Ron Burgundy. I read what's in front of me, But.
The cigar guys
I get all variations.
But, for the community in the region to really understand what your plan is here, and going forward, if you could, a 60-second or, minute, elevator, if you could, of what goes on from here. Because to me, for a lot of people, this would kind of be, well, we did it. I mean, because that's just where a lot of people kind of see that focus. But for you, this is just step 1C of a very large ladder.
Absolutely right. So here's the 2 words describe everything we're doing for the region. So alternate location. We are about organizing capacity, which means that's partnerships. Understand what you have available. We believe very much in a model. Before you build something new, make sure you've used and you understand everything that's available to you. Right. So 1, we organize capacity. Then we mobilize capacity. You know, I've said here before, 50% of the problem in food insecurity in America, I believe, can be solved by making it easier to get the product to the people. You're not going to build grocery stores in East St. Louis. You're not going to have any of those things. No. So what's happening now is we actually have this partnership. East St. Louis is also now we're partnering with Lansdowne and Jackie Joyner Kersey Center. And so they're going to build an aggregation center that matches our aggregation center. They do jobs programs. Swansea, we have a location. Collinsville, Granite City's next. So the vision is this. If we can organize our area, 30 miles by 7 miles, not right? 2 counties, I-255 to the river, so that Alton's the northern base, right? Mm-hmm. We could create so much capacity. We can focus it. We can get jobs. We can deliver dignity. We can be efficient. And that's the solution. This is how America started. Yeah. We started in a community organizing kind of ways, and we're going to bring that idea back to change lives for good.
I love it. John, anything else before I let you go?
Well, one thing I do want to point out that John and I talk about, but he's brought up, in a time when funding and when there's a lot of hard things happening for nonprofits, John says it, and it's true. The need is there, the adversity is there, but out of this comes opportunity and innovation, and that's really a big driving piece of what's happening here. Yeah, like you said, getting the right partners and the people that understand that the bigger picture and your participation in it is going to impact so many people's lives.
100%. And I'm really excited to keep talking more and more about this with Food Is Love Social Kitchen and Challenge Unlimited's partnership, but also just you two as individual entities too, because really just to keep sharing the resources that both of the organizations provide is really such a needed commodity right now for the entire region, not just for Madison County, but like you said, the 2 county coverage area, plus all the families that are truly in need.
Absolutely.
We'll take a quick break at 10:37. We have one final conversation, and then I got to boogie and move a couch. We're going to be talking with Andy at Joe's Market Basket because I planted yesterday, and that might have been a nightmare. So let's see what I did wrong after this one in the heart of the 618.